Most people think you need years of coding to land a six-figure tech job. I don't write a single line of code. They think you have to be a people manager to break that kind of income barrier. I don't manage anyone. My entire job is to craft the perfect sentences for artificial intelligence, and it pays more than my entire old career. And this isn't some far-off, futuristic fantasy. This is happening right now. This is the wild story of how I became a prompt engineer, why it might be the most important job of the next decade, and how you could be doing it way sooner than you think. I went from a career I thought was a dead end to the most exciting, future-proof role I could imagine. So stay with me, because I'm not just going to tell you my story, I'm going to give you the blueprint. Section 1. The Old World. Just 2 years ago, my professional life felt beige. I was a senior marketing manager for a mid-sized company, and my days were a predictable loop of spreadsheets, PowerPoints, and meetings that should have been emails. I was good at my job. I could analyze market trends, craft a campaign, and manage a budget. But I had this nagging feeling, this low-grade anxiety, that my skills were slowly becoming obsolete. Every quarter, a new piece of game-changing software promised to automate another slice of my job. The ground felt like it was shifting under my feet. I wasn't a coder. I wasn't a pure data scientist. I was a creative strategist, a communicator, and it felt like the world was telling me that wasn't enough anymore. The career ladder felt more like a treadmill. I was running faster and faster, but the scenery never changed. The idea of another 20 years of this felt suffocating. I saw the writing on the wall. Automation wasn't just for factory jobs. It was coming for white-collar work, for my work. I remember sitting in a pointless 3-hour meeting about the shade of blue on a banner ad, and thinking, there has to be something else. There has to be a way to work with this change, not just wait to be replaced by it. I was craving a challenge, something that felt like the future, not a relic of the past. But I had no idea what that could be or how to even start looking. Section 2. The Catalyst. My aha moment didn't come in a flash of genius. It came from pure frustration. I was messing around with one of the new AI tools, probably ChatGPT, trying to brainstorm some ad copy. I was treating it like a glorified search engine, typing in lazy requests like write slogans for a new coffee brand. And the results were awful. Generic, cliché, and utterly soulless. It was the kind of uninspired garbage I'd expect from a machine. I almost closed the tab, ready to write off the whole technology as overhyped nonsense. But then, I stopped. I remembered reading that the quality of an AI's answer depends entirely on the quality of the question. So I tried again. This time, I didn't just ask. I instructed. I wrote a whole paragraph. I gave the AI a persona. You are a witty, slightly cynical copywriter in the vein of David Ogilvy, writing for a young, urban audience that despises corporate jargon. I gave it context. The coffee brand is sustainably sourced, and its main selling point is its exceptionally smooth, non-bitter taste. And I gave it constraints. Generate 10 slogans. Each must be under 8 words. Avoid cliché words like premium, delicious, or perfect. I hit enter, and what came back was magic. The slogans were sharp, clever, and perfectly on brand. They were better than the first 5 ideas I'd scribbled down myself. In that moment, something clicked. The AI wasn't the product. My instruction was. The value wasn't just in the AI's ability to generate text. It was in my ability to guide it, to shape its output with precision and creativity. I fell down a rabbit hole. I spent that entire weekend discovering this strange new term, prompt engineering. It sounded so technical, but the more I read, the more I realized it was the intersection of everything I was already good at: language, logic, creativity, and strategy. It wasn't about coding, it was about communication. It was the art and science of crafting the perfect input to get the perfect output. And I learned that companies were starting to hire people to do just that. They needed translators between human intent and artificial intelligence. For the first time in years, I didn't feel obsolete. I felt like I had just stumbled upon the front door to the future. Section 3. The Journey and the Struggle. That excitement was quickly followed by a reality check. Becoming a prompt engineer wasn't just about being good with words, it was a real discipline, and I was a total amateur. So I treated it like a second job. Every night after my soul-crushing day job, I'd put in 3 to 4 hours in my own personal prompt engineering bootcamp. My lab was just a text document and a browser window. I started with the basics, what I now call the 4 pillars of a great prompt: role, task, context, and constraints. It sounds simple, but mastering it is an art. My first attempts were clumsy. I'd ask for a business email and get something that sounded like a Shakespearean robot. Here's a real example. Early on, I tried to get an AI to summarize a dense financial report for my boss. My prompt was literally, "Summarize this article." The result was a useless mess of disconnected facts. That failure was a lesson. I started iterating. I began thinking, how would I ask a smart human assistant to do this? Here's where I landed. Bad prompt: summarize this article. Paste article text. Good prompt: role: you are an expert financial analyst who's brilliant at making complex information simple. You're briefing a busy, non-technical executive. Task: read the following financial report and provide a 3-part summary. Executive summary: 1 paragraph, under 100 words, with the main finding and the ultimate so what from our company. Key points: a bulleted list of the 3 to 5 most critical data points. For each, explain its significance in 1 sentence. Potential risks: a bulleted list of 2 to 3 potential risks we need to watch out for. Context: the report is our Q3 performance review. The executive cares most about profitability and market share. Avoid technical jargon. Constraint: keep the entire output under 400 words. The tone should be confident, professional, and direct. Paste article text. The difference was night and day. The second prompt didn't just ask for a summary. It engineered a high-quality, specific, and useful piece of analysis. This process, test, fail, refine, repeat, became my entire world. I realized prompt engineering is like being a detective and a poet at the same time. You need the analytical mind to deconstruct a problem and the linguistic creativity to articulate it perfectly. I built a whole portfolio of these before and after examples. I practiced chaining prompts together, where the output of one becomes the input for the next, to build entire workflows. I learned about techniques like chain of thought to force the AI to show its work. My secret weapon was that I wasn't a coder. I thought in terms of language, logic, and intent, which is exactly what this job is about. I was building a bridge from my old career to my new one prompt at a time. Section 4. The Revelation and Success. After about 6 months of this, I felt ready. But I didn't just fire off resumes. I built a portfolio website that showed my skills. For 10 different business scenarios, I presented a problem, my bad prompt, my good prompt, and the dramatically different results. I showed how I could use prompts to draft legal clauses, create a social media calendar, and even generate simple Python code without knowing how to code myself. I was demonstrating tangible business value. I started applying for roles like AI prompt engineer and LLM strategist. The demand was real and coming from every industry imaginable. The interviews were wild. They didn't care about my marketing background. They gave me live tests. One company gave me a log from a terrible chatbot and said, "Fix it." My task was to rewrite the bot's underlying prompts to make it more empathetic and effective. All those nights of experimenting paid off. I could diagnose the flawed prompts and rewrite them on the spot. And that's when I had the biggest revelation. Landing this job wasn't just about writing clever prompts. It was about problem solving. Companies need someone who can understand a business goal, translate it into a crystal clear instruction for an AI, analyze the output, and then iterate to make it even better. It's a loop of strategy, creation, and refinement. I ended up with 3 offers. The one I accepted was from a tech company I'd admired for years. The starting salary was $122,000, which felt completely unreal just a year before. Salaries in this field can range widely based on experience, location, and the company, but six-figure jobs are absolutely out there. I didn't get the job despite my non-technical background. I got it because of it. My ability to understand nuance, context, and human language was my biggest asset. My job was now, quite literally, to talk to robots for a living. Section 5. How you can do it too. So, how can you start this journey? The path is clearer than you might think, and many companies are now prioritizing skills over degrees. Here's a 5-step framework. First, master one AI model. Don't try to learn every AI tool at once. Pick a major one, like GPT, Claude, or Gemini, and go deep. Use it every single day. Learn its quirks, its personality. Get an intuitive feel for how your instructions change its output. Think of it like learning an instrument. You have to practice the scales. Second, learn the advanced techniques. Prompting is way more than just asking questions. Research the professional techniques. Concepts like chain of thought, few-shot learning, giving the AI examples in your prompt, and persona patterns. There are tons of free resources and online communities dedicated to this. This is the stuff that separates a casual user from a pro. Third, build a problem-solving portfolio. This is the most critical step. A resume that says good at prompting is useless. You have to show it. Create a simple website or even a PDF that showcases 5 to 10 projects. For each one, define a real-world problem, show your first naive prompt, and then present your final, sophisticated prompt and the superior result. Solve problems that businesses actually have. Fourth, develop AI-adjacent skills. You don't need to be a hardcore coder, but some adjacent skills make you way more valuable. A little Python can help you use APIs. Basic data analysis helps you evaluate the AI's output. Knowing some core concepts of natural language processing helps you understand why certain prompts work. You're the bridge between the AI and the business. The more you understand, the stronger the bridge. Finally, network and specialize. Jump into the AI community online. Follow AI researchers and other prompt engineers. The field is moving so fast that you have to keep learning. As you do, think about specializing. Maybe you're great at prompts for creative writing, or legal analysis, or financial modeling. Industries like finance, healthcare, and tech desperately need prompt engineers with domain-specific knowledge. Your unique background isn't a weakness, it's your specialization in disguise. CTA. This field is absolutely exploding. The AI market is projected to be worth over $1 trillion, and the need for people who can bridge the gap between humans and AI is growing at an incredible rate. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, make sure you subscribe for more breakdowns of AI careers and practical guides. I'll be getting into more advanced techniques and even analyzing real-world job descriptions in future videos. Conclusion: the future of work. What I've realized is that prompt engineering isn't just a job title, it's a new form of literacy. For decades, we've learned to talk to computers using the rigid language of code. Now, we're teaching computers to understand us through the fluid, nuanced medium of human language. This changes everything. The World Economic Forum has projected that while AI will displace millions of jobs, it will also create millions of new ones. Some reports suggest as many as 97 million new roles will emerge to support human-AI collaboration. This isn't the end of human work, it's a transformation. We're moving from a world where our value is in doing the task to one where our value is in directing the task. Your ability to think critically, be creative, and communicate clearly is now more valuable than ever. My journey wasn't about becoming a tech bro. It was about recognizing that my most human skills were the key to unlocking this new technology. It's a career that combines the precision of an engineer with the creativity of an artist. You get to be the architect and the director for the most powerful tool humanity has ever built. This is just the beginning. So now I have a question for you. After hearing all this, what's the most surprising thing you learned about the job of a prompt engineer? Let me know in the comments below.